wonder how long you should decant a bottle of wine? I get asked that all the time. Today I'm going to break it down for you with some tips you might never heard of before. Now, the short and somewhat frustrating answer is it depends. But here is a general rule of thumb. For most white wine, you're not going to need to decant them. Yes, I say most. There are some white wine that will benefit with some decanting, but we're not going to get into that today. And it's not all red wine that need to be decanted. It's usually reserved for red wine that is big, bold, and with higher tannin and alcohol content. And to break it down by the general varietal category of red wine, we have Pinot Noir and Gamay that usually only takes about 20 to 30 minutes. In fact, my personal recommendation here is instead of decanting it, because it's very easy to kind of over decant it in my opinion, is to just use a proper burgundy, the nice big goblet glass, and have the wine naturally aerate inside the glass instead of putting it into a decanter. The next category is your medium body red, like a Merlot Sangiovese. It usually takes about 30 to 60 minutes to decant. And in this category, if they're a little bit older, I once again will recommend you let it naturally decant in a bigger, proper glass instead of swaying into a decanter to prevent from over decanting away, having the wine go over its peak too soon. And of course, the meat and potato of what we really want to decant are the category of full body reds like Cabernet, Bordeaux varietal, and Syrahs. And generally, those wines will take anywhere from 1 to 2 hours plus. Lastly, let's talk about the older vintage wine. A lot of times these wines need to be decanted for the purpose of getting rid of the sediment that's been formed in the bottle. And generally, I would recommend decant them with caution. A lot of time, it only takes about 30 minutes for it to fully open up, and you don't want it to, once again, over decant it and have it go past the peak. And the key takeaway is that wine is a living, breathing beverage. And there is something that we call a bottle variation, which can change everything. Two of the same bottle of wine stored differently can behave completely differently based on the way it was stored. For example, a bottle of 2000 Mouton Rothschild coming directly from the winery cellar could take up to 2 hours to fully open up. But on the other hand, the same bottle that's been just casually stored in someone's garage, that might be peaked or past its peak in 30 minutes or less. So here's my number one tip for you. Instead of going by a very strict timeline of how long you should decant it, when you should start drinking it, I said just start sipping the wine in small quantities and really enjoy the journey and the evolution and feel and see how the wine open up with time. And once the wine peak, getting to that sweet spot, then really savor it. Now think about it like a fine cigar. Any cigar aficionado will tell you that the best part of a cigar is right in the middle. When you first start smoking it, the first third will be a little tight and a little closed off. And when you get to the last third, it can get a little hot and a little too rough. But it's really the middle that's a sweet spot. However, you will enjoy the entire journey. That's what makes it special. So apply that same thinking to enjoying a bottle of wine. So there you have it. Instead of stressing over the exact time to decant it and when to start drinking it, just start sipping it and enjoy the entire journey and let the wine tell you the stories through its evolution. Don't forget to like and follow for more wine tips.